The supernatural world is real, surrounds us, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me. You'll hear stories about this, so much more, right here on Supernatural Confrontations. Very special guest today, John Adam Hicks, our editor. He's edited hundreds of shows behind the scenes, but now he's coming forward. Why? Because we're going to be talking about cryptids and Sasquatch. I think you'll find this interesting. First, a word from our very trusted sponsor. Folks, a meta-analysis of 23 controlled trials show that people taking collagen supplements saw real improvements in skin hydration, elasticity, and reductions in wrinkle depth. That means collagen isn't just a beauty fad. It's one of the most studied supplements proven to actually change how your skin looks and feels. This is why I use it every single day, Ageless Multi-Collagen. Folks, I love the way it makes my skin look. It supercharges my skin with 5 types of premium collagen needed to help reduce wrinkles. Since I started drinking collagen daily, I've noticed smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer lines, and a youthful glow. And at 75 years old, I definitely need it. Plus, it also helps improve my joint health, bone strength, and connective tissues. Grab a bag of Ageless Multi-Collagen, 51% off at healthwithla.com. That's www.healthwithla.com, and start experiencing real results. Plus, they have a promotion right now that includes free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin. A 60-day, think about this, folks, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee and free shipping with every order. Once again, folks, healthwithla.com. That's healthwithla.com. So, John Adam Hicks, great to have you here on the show.
Good to be on.
Yeah, you've edited like hundreds and hundreds of daily shows. I can't even keep track, but it's years. I mean, it's
like what?
Yeah. So you want to talk about, and you gave me this for a Christmas present a couple of, that explains it. And what we see is a UFO beaming up a Sasquatch. So, I'm actually going to be interviewing today in about an hour and a half, David Paulides. He has a new film coming out. I'm in the film. He interviewed me a couple of years ago. He's got a new film coming out. And I'm on him a trailer. I actually called him. I said, gee, Dave, I didn't make the trailer. He said, yeah, but it's all the best segments. So we'll see. But he'll be on the show in about an hour and a half, and I'll send that.
I remember you doing that. Yeah, I completely forgot about it. That's all.
So, my generation, because I'm old enough to be your grandfather, for crying out loud. So, my generation looked at all this and laughed at it. There's no such thing as Sasquatch, no such thing as UFOs. Lee Harvey Oswald is the lone gunman, and on about it goes, right down the trail. So your generation has a completely different look at this. And now with the advent of the internet and where we are, the information highway, stories, everybody's coming on the record. So what do you want to share today about Sasquatch, Bigfoot?
I mean, so there's a lot. I mean, I'll watch a lot of different podcasts. I read a lot of different articles. There are so many, which I know our show kind of does that. We have people encountering stuff, but there are some channels that are strictly, I read into X, Y, or Z. And we've kind of spoken about this. I've been on, I talked to Josh Turner a couple times about it. He's from Paranormal Roundtable. We've talked a few times about it, but everything is just amping up. And there are people seeing these things on a daily basis at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And it's weird because, I mean, there's different like species, quote unquote, species types of them that people see. Like you have some that are like, even here in Oklahoma, the ones here in Oklahoma tend to be, from what people have said, way more aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Than the ones up in like the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Not that those are never aggressive, but it just seems like here in the South, it's worse. And you also have to think of, we were talking about Sasquatch, but there's also other stuff too. There's which I don't really like this term because it sounds silly to me. But Dogman is a big deal too.
Right.
And with Dogman specifically, I mean, you can go back. We talked about Sasquatch numerous times about how Native Americans talk about them. There's tons. I mean, anyone can Google this. You don't have to listen to me. Like, just Google it, and you can look up all this stuff that strictly about Sasquatch and how they were. I mean, you've talked. I mean, decades about them like being cannibalistic, attacking Native Americans, stuff like that, taking women and children, all kinds of just awful stuff. Well, the Dogman, again, don't like that term, have the same sort of history behind it. There was this race of dog-headed people called the Cynocephali that were found in I think India. Let me look at my notes. I think it's India. Yeah, like India, China, ancient Greece, and like supposedly Alexander the Great fought these things.
Wow.
And they were incredibly aggressive, feral, bloodthirsty, would like eat people sort of type of thing. There's a story about, you know, the story of St. Christopher. Have you ever heard that?
No, I have, but that's decades and decades ago. So
Supposedly he was a dog-headed person.
Whoa.
That got saved and then I don't remember the exact story about why he became saintly. I don't know if it was just because of his coming to the Lord, and that's why he was considered a saint, because he was not human and he was made human. Because I don't remember. I have to look the story up. But I mean, St. Christopher was a dog-headed. He was huge too. Apparently, he was like, I think it says he was at least 8 feet tall.
Yeah, that's hugely. Yeah, you get anything over, you know what? You get anything over 7 feet, and there's a picture of me. You've seen it, where I'm standing next to John, the former basketball player, and I'm like a quarter inch under 6 feet, so I'm basically 6 feet. Okay.
Yeah, John and me, I'm not that tall.
Well, John is 7 feet tall, except he's like this. And I look like I'm a dwarf next to him. He's huge, and he's only a foot taller. You go up another foot, and that's the stuff of nightmares.
Like 8 feet in general just sounds like, I mean, people think when they hear, like, this is kind of off topic, but when people hear stuff about like a shark, it's like, oh, it's only 12 feet. Do you have any
idea what that looks like?
12 feet is?
It's really big.
Just because it's not the 25-footer from Jaws does not mean that that thing is not horrifying.
Oh, if you saw it in the water, I mean, that would be it. Yeah.
I mean, ocean's haunted. That's a different subject. We'll talk about. But I mean, so that's Cynocephali, and then you have the other like subspecies of these things. You have I think you've heard of the Gugwe before. Have you heard of the Gugwe? You know what that is?
Yeah.
Which is like a Sasquatch, but has kind of a more of a snout.
Yeah, more of a dog face, but it's a squatch. So what are we looking at?
Yeah, and they're, again, those ones are apparently really violent. You have the Rougarou or the Loup-garou in the swamps in like Louisiana. That's an old French legend. They're apparently more werewolves though.
We have more werewolves, like, right.
I mean, they can turn into stuff.
Right.
You have, what's the other one? There's so many. There's the Loup-garou. Oh, have you ever heard of the Beast of Gévaudan? Have you ever heard of that?
No, refresh my memory just in case.
So let me look up the date real quick. But there was this beast that was, the first thing that pops up when I type in beast is this.
Wow.
A creature from 1764 to 1767, and this really happened, that was wolf-like, that was shot multiple times and wouldn't die, and it killed over 100 people. It terrorized the French countryside to the point to where the king got involved and so did the military.
Wow.
And then one day this hunter came out of nowhere, said he shot it with a silver bullet, and then it disappeared. There's people that think that he was the it doesn't matter. But my point is that it's like you have all this stuff going on from before not recorded history, but our version of recorded history, where we have the internet, video.
Everything's completely different. Sure.
Yeah. Also now, and we've talked about this a lot on the show before, it's hard to know what's real and what's not, because there's the AI thing. I have seen so many videos of like it'll tag like real the craziest encounter, and then you look at it, you're like, dude, that guy's wearing Nikes.
Yeah.
I'll see him wear
It's his same running, right?
but then you hear these other channels, and I can name a whole bunch of channels, but I'd rather have them on the show for you to talk to. So I'm not going to do that. But there's people that go on these shows and tell their encounters, and these are terrifying, a lot of them. None of them, any of the ones that make them sound like they're good forest people, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I'm not buying the keepers of the forest thing either. I mean, I'm just not. I've told this story numerous times, and I know you know it. Fritz Zimmerman, Peggy, myself, Jessica Martinez, we're trekking up this path in and around New Hampshire, Massachusetts, right on the borderline there. And it's dead quiet in the forest. And we come upon a tree which has been bent. So here's the trunk of the tree, and the tree has been twisted, and it's like a 6-inch tree, and it's over the pathway, and it's been twisted. You can see right here at the break, this thing has been twisted. And I picked it up. There's no way in a million years I can twist this tree. Well, that's a Squatch telling us, don't come up here. But of course,
it's a territorial marker.
We went up, and then we saw the stacked stones, and I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that forest. It was unnerving.
At least most of the, not most of them, I want to say all of them really, that I can't think of a single one where it wasn't quiet. Any interview that I've ever heard or anything that I've ever read of someone relaying it, which I want to, I'm thinking about doing something here in Oklahoma, but you and I may talk about that off camera. But people that encounter any variation of this stuff says that it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like they're being watched.
Yeah.
They get that sixth sense with your neck, a hair standing up, which I've never experienced that. Thank God.
Yeah, I don't want to experience that. Thank you.
I don't either. Like I see some of these YouTubers that go out and they're like trying to find stuff. I'm like, don't do that.
Well, that's why this guy partner here.
Don't do that. That's like going diving with sharks. Again, bring on.
I mean, it really is. It's like that.
Don't do that. And then there's, it's funny. A few months back, was that a few months? That might have been a year ago. I completely forgot about it until just a minute ago. But one of the girls here where I live, that works at the bank that I use. I don't think she works there anymore, but we were talking about my job and how I worked for you or whatever. And she was saying how she was driving one night, and I can't remember where she said she lives. She doesn't live in town where I live. She goes like, I don't know, I want to say 15, 20 minutes away.
So more out in the country.
Yeah, like much more rural. Like it's pretty rural here, but it's not. I mean, it's down.
Right.
But she was driving out one night, and she said that she had her windows down, I think, and she was driving, and she came up to one of the few stop signs that was out there where she was at, and she hears this weird, screechy hollering sound, and she's like, "What is that?" Well, she kind of looks to her left. So the stop sign's on her right. And so she looks to the left, and there's like some woods, and like it's dark out. You can't really see hard light. She got her headlights and stuff. Well, so she sees what she thinks at first is an owl fly from the woods. Well, then it lands on the top of the stop sign. And this thing, first of all, was huge. Like she may have told me, I don't know, again, she didn't work there anymore, so I can't ask her, but she said it was the biggest owl she had ever seen. And she lives out in the country. So, I mean, people like country folk kind of know.
Yeah, they know.
She said it was the biggest owl she'd ever seen with them, but she looked at it. Its eyes were self-illuminating, and it had a human face.
Whoa.
It had a woman's face. And that kind of sounds like that could be, I don't want to say the name of it because you're not supposed to say the name of it. And I live in Oklahoma. You might be a little safer saying that.
No, it's not good to say that, California. I don't know. Yeah, no matter what.
It could have been it could have been the things that like to change skin.
Yeah.
Or it could have been, I think I told Josh Turner this, and he said that it might have been a lechusa, which is kind of the same thing. I think I could be wrong. It might be. I think that's a witch. I can't remember.
Yeah, or it could have been like a Mothman type thing, because that's what it.
Because I mean, she said it had glowing eyes, but then she also said she said it was it had a woman face, a woman-like face. Like it didn't look like it. It wasn't an owl. It didn't look like an owl. Like Oklahoma has different types of owls, but you can. I mean, if you live out there with them, everyone knows what an owl looks like.
Sure.
Don't mistake a human face on a bird.
No, not going to be doing that.
And then you along with that, there's people talking about a lot. There's a channel devoted almost entirely to Bigfoot encounters here in Oklahoma. It just by itself, and again, almost every day, someone's. At least the show is uploading every day. I don't know if it happens every day.
Right.
It's happening often enough where some people are coming forward and saying, "Hey, I'm seeing this. Hey, I'm seeing this." There's the one guy who, this was a year. I think this was not the one guy. This was a whole deal. But I think it was around the Oklahoma territory before it was Oklahoma. I could be wrong. But there was like a huge war with these Bigfoot type things, and there was this. I wish I could remember what it was called. But basically, it was this village of natives that were they kept getting attacked by these things, and there was a officer in the cavalry. I think it was the cavalry, and he had like his like detachment with him or whatever, and they decided to help these guys. And strangely enough, two of the guys in his were soldiers with him were natives, but they were so big that they had to ride like the big
Clydesdale horses, big horses.
Yeah, like they had to ride like the biggest horse that they could get because of how big these two guys were. But they went and hunted down these Bigfoot Sasquatch type monsters, and they had the same story, red hair. I don't remember if said they had 6 fingers or not, but I know they had red hair, big, and they had taken a bunch of men, women, and children, and when they finally found where they were at, like they were just eating everybody. And so it was a big battle. The officer in question, I can't remember his name. I should have put that in my notes too, but I forgot. He got killed, but they ended up killing all of them. And this was like 150 years ago.
Yeah, it's close. It's close in. I know because you edit all of the daily shows. I know about Sarah Winnemucca, Sitka, the Lovelock Cave. I've been to Lovelock Cave. I mean, I walked in there. I used to have an original manuscript from 1920, which showed all the material that they took out of this. This is well before NADPRA. So, and I had that, of course, it burned in the fire. But they were giants, and they red-haired, 6 fingers, the whole 9 yards. So, what are we really looking at here? It's very, very strange. And you mentioned this already, that the numbers have increased. When I'm a kid watching the Gimli Patterson film at 16 years old, because it's 1966 when Gimli Patterson releases this thing, I believed it. My dad's laughing, oh, it's a guy in a gorilla suit, the whole thing. I'm going, look, I know I'm only 16, but that, I believe it. I think it's real. And since then, as you said earlier, the numbers have gone through the roof. So I know you know where I'm going with this because you edited all the shows. I believe that these are the beasts of the earth that we hear about in the Book of Revelation, Therion. So what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think they're, I've sort of mentioned this to you before, but I think they're a type of Vanguard type situation.
Yeah.
Where the more and more things that happen, I would hate to see what would happen if Civil War erupted in America for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, you know
that, but I say that because there's so many instances and stories of these things showing themselves during wartime, or famine, or natural disasters. I mean, the fires that you guys had.
Yeah,
there has been reports of people seeing giant wolf monsters running around. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any of that in front of me right now, but I've heard that multiple times.
Wow.
And so with the state of everything now, I'm surprised that during the riots, I mean, maybe there was, I don't know. I didn't really look into it during that period of time, but like the riots from 2020, I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least a few stories from that.
Hmm.
They're almost like, I can't strictly put the title on them besides the Vanguard thing, but like they're almost like harbingers of like worse things happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's almost like I like the idea of Vanguard. That's I agree. I mean, this is if they really are the beasts of the earth. The late Russ Dizdar used to say, we're not talking about hamsters and giraffes here, and it was sort of a lighthearted way of approaching the subject with people. But the beasts of the earth, when they're let loose, I mean, all hell breaks loose. Now that's future, but are we seeing? The population is definitely exploding. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So, John, it's we're going to be doing this like every 2 to 3 weeks, and you're coming on the record telling us what you're seeing. So, close this out. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
I think everyone needs to keep an eye and ear open. Even if you hear something that sounds just ridiculous, whether it's somebody else telling it, someone else relaying what happened to them, whether it's happening to you, pray, rebuke it, and then leave.
Yeah, I like the lead part.
Yeah, don't go looking for
it. Go looking for it. No,
don't whistle in the woods at night. Don't do any of that. Pray, rebuke, leave. And if you're hearing a story from somebody else, you need to listen to what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the record, folks. John will be a regular feature here on our show. It's just a different way of looking at things, and yet it all dovetails together. So, John, thanks so much for coming on the record. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll try to talk about different sort of topics.
Yeah.
One topic that I had suggested, obviously we can't talk about on YouTube. Maybe we'll do a Rumble episode for that one.
Yeah, and I'm all in. That's it for today, folks. The supernatural world is real. It surrounds us. Sometimes it manifests to people like you. I will leave you with John's last words. When you see it, rebuke it, and get the heck out of there. Don't engage it. Don't go seek it. Don't go looking for it. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another show. Thank you for subscribing. We really appreciate it. Especially we've got content for members only. When you join and become a member, you get 10% off everything in the store. Our monthly news magazine, great articles in that. And then, of course, you get members only content. Thanks so much for watching. We're here every day. Don't wait for YouTube to send you a notification. We do a show every single day, 7 days a week, 365. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
It is a beautiful day up here in the 49th state, so I thought I'd take advantage of this good weather window before the snow comes and get out here and look for some tracks and tree structures. If you're wondering about my shirt already, yep, I'm an L.A. Marzulli guy. So L.A. Marzulli, in case you don't know who he is an established author, commentator, and filmmaker. And we had him on the show about a year ago, and we got a lot of heat for that show. And the reason we got heat is because there's a lot of people in the Bigfoot research community that absolutely come unglued if you come from a biblical perspective, namely the Nephilim connection theory where it relates to Sasquatch. And they just come unglued about that. And we got heat. But they were really saying more about themselves than they were about us. So we appreciated that L.A. Marzulli took the time to come to our small podcast and talk to us about the alien phenomenon, as well as the Nephilim connection theory where it relates to Sasquatch. So we encourage you to go check out his website at lamarzulli.net. He's got a lot of great stuff over there. And yeah, in case you're not familiar with the Nephilim connection theory, look into it.
The late Russ Dizdar and I created the Nephilim Mounds conferences, and we had people like Gary Stearman there, Chief Joseph Rivler, of course, Fritz Zimmerman. I mean, he's the guy that got me on the trail of a Nephilim, which resulted in 8 films, and number 9 is coming out soon. But guess what? Here's the Nephilim Mounds collection. There are hours and hours of presentations. Gary Stearman, Fritz Zimmerman, Chief Joseph Rivler, and yours truly, and others weigh in on the Nephilim. And you know what, folks? You can see right here the Great Serpent Mount. Yeah, We believe that's Nephilim architecture, fallen angel technology. So for $60, you get all these DVDs here. It's absolutely incredible. There are 11 discs in the set, plus a bonus DVD, Watcher 6, The Secret Cosmic War. This is when we went to Peru, and with our guide, Brian Forrester, we learned and ventured to what we believe is fallen angel technology, Nephilim architecture, and it's pre-flood. Go to lamarzulli.com, lamarzulli.com. What are you waiting for? Avail yourself. There's so much teaching, so much good stuff in this 11-disc set. Plus, you get the bonus DVD. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.